Well, hey, everybody. Good evening. It is Sunday evening, about almost 10 minutes till 9 on Sunday evening. And Andrew here with Nashville Severe Weather and here with Elon. And we're jumping on a little bit early. There are no warnings in effect for Davidson and Williamson counties right now. But we thought we'd come on early here, take a few questions, and just sort of talk weather for a little bit before these storms get in here. Of course, we've been advertising the past few days a line of storms, and it kind of looks like a little bit of a messy line of storms. We've kind of got two lines of storms here. We're looking at the Memphis radar right now, and kind of got two lines of storms here. The first one over there near Savannah and kind of crossing the Tennessee River. And then there's one behind it there that also has warnings with it, that's back toward Jackson, Bolivar, Henderson. They're just east of Memphis. So those are our two lines that we're watching. And those are going to be crossing the Tennessee River here shortly. The Nashville National Weather Service office has gone ahead and issued severe thunderstorm warnings for first ones of Middle Tennessee for this event. And those are up there in northwestern Middle Tennessee for Stewart County, Montgomery County, Houston County, and Humphreys County. And then another severe thunderstorm warning down in Perry County and down there in that would be Wayne County. So two severe thunderstorm warnings from Middle Tennessee. And again, nothing for us yet, but y'all have asked that we come on a little bit early and just sort of talk through this event. Hey, Tom.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome. So we're just sort of coming on in a little bit more of a slow format here where we're not trying to hit buttons and everything right when a warning is issued and do things really fast. So by the looks of it, off to the west, we would think that probably warnings would extend over into our couple of counties here within the next hour or so. We'll have to see how that pans out, but the way things look back to the west right now, looking pretty gnarly out there. So we just thought we'd come on and answer a few questions. So if you got any questions, I'm watching the chat over here, and good to have y'all on. We've got quite a few that have joined that just want to come on and talk weather. So Elon is, I believe, Elon, are you covering socials right now, or Will's jumped on? Okay, Will's there. Will is covering Twitter. He's over there on X. He's covering Threads, X, and Blue Sky. And then Graham is covering Instagram. And then Elon is going to watch replies and reply to all your questions over on socials. And Tom's going to try to keep us sane through this event. Tom, I just volunteered you for that. Hope you're all right with that one.
Ooh, I'll do my best. That's a tall order.
So let's break it down. Let's talk about what we got going on. This event has been very interesting to me. Some of these events that we watch in the models, several days out, we're kind of like, we have really no idea when this is happening. We're going to have to wait till the day of to really get timing and that kind of thing. Let me tell you, Tom, this thing has been as consistent as they come in the models. And it has really not shifted in the past couple of days.
It's been remarkable in this 8 to 11 p.m. window, kind of affecting our part of Middle Tennessee, and it's a testament to how far we've come. Still have a long way to go with modeling, but it's really a testament to when stuff is strongly forced like this, when it's being driven by powerful forces in the atmosphere, the models can lock in and time the convection pretty well, and that's what we've seen with this.
Yeah. So what we're looking at, this was some of you folks here in the chat have commented about how there's two lines and what's going to happen with these two lines. This was actually modeled fairly well in the HRRR. The HRRR was actually showing a little bit of a line kind of busting out ahead of the main line, and then it actually had them forming or combining here in Middle Tennessee. So we'll see if that happens. One of the questions just a second ago was, are these two lines going to become one line as it comes through? That's what the HRRR model showed happening here. that the second line would kind of catch up with the first, and it would sort of congeal into one line as it comes through. I don't know. We're just going to have to see how that particular part of it pans out. It wouldn't surprise me if it does. But one thing we'll have to watch with that is if they do combine, I think our straight line wind threat would go up as that becomes more of a sharp kind of one line pushing through here. So we'll have to watch for that straight line wind threat. Now I do. Who do we have? Is that Graham? That's Graham. There he is. Hey, man.
Hello.
Hey. We were just talking about how you're handling Instagram tonight. Appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
So, so we'll see how these two lines sort of pan out and whether they combine or not. So let's talk about what we've got on the map. What are you looking at here? What you're looking at is the Memphis radar. So we're looking at the Memphis National Weather Service Office radar. And so we're not really seeing much over Nashville, and for a couple of reasons. One, the storms aren't here yet. Number two, the radar beam in Memphis is kind of shooting over top of us anyway. So we'll switch over to Nashville shortly. But right now, these storms are just now crossing the Tennessee River. So there are multiple warnings out west of us. Memphis has been issuing warnings in West Tennessee as this line has pushed through their territory over in East Arkansas, West Tennessee. And they have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings out. And they've been warning in their severe thunderstorm warnings for wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour in quite a few cases there, especially in the northern part of West Tennessee. So that's one thing for us to watch as that moves in here. They do have one tornado warning in effect down in Savannah. So down in that's Hardin County down there. And so the was seeing that camera just a minute ago. It looks like it's down right now, but oh, there it is. Yeah, I was going to say there was a lot of lightning with it when I saw it earlier. So these we're getting into that time of year where our storms are pretty charged up. All right, so a lot of lightning with that first line down. I mean, that kind of looks like a June thunderstorm, Tom. I mean, really, really charged up for this time of year, it seems like. But so we can expect some noisy storms. That's one of the questions I saw earlier was, hey, what about my dogs? Are they going to be, yeah, they're probably going to be pretty loud, and you probably want to do whatever you do with your dogs to help them get through this one. So a lot of electrical energy. So that's in Savannah where they have that tornado warning ongoing down there. So in Middle Tennessee, we'll switch over to the Nashville radar. This is going to change the way things look a little bit. We have two warnings in effect in Middle Tennessee, none for us in Davidson, Williamson yet. So there's one warning in effect up here for Stewart, Houston, Humphreys, and Montgomery counties. All right. And that warning up there is for potentially 70 mile per hour winds and quarter size hail. All right. So that's for these storms up here in northwestern Middle Tennessee. Down here in southwestern Middle Tennessee, they've gone ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning for the storm coming out of Hardin County, crossing the Tennessee River, or crossing rather into Middle Tennessee, into Wayne County and Perry County. All right. So severe thunderstorm warning there right now. That's for 60 mile per hour winds and quarter size hail. So it'll be interesting to see if they extend that tornado warning over. And there's discussion of that going on at the Weather Service as they sort of look and see what on the cameras and that kind of thing, what's going on down there. Actually, a camera there in Waynesboro. All right. So, again, this is the storm coming out of Savannah going into Wayne County. So, again, very electrical.
That thing is lit up. Wow.
Yeah, it is. I mean, man, for mid-March, that really does look like a summer thunderstorm. And the only reason it froze up there is because the camera froze up. It didn't stop lightning there. That lightning is just nonstop.
That's constant.
It's constant lightning. So they're going to be watching that real close down there. The Tennessee Valley Weather folks down there have control of that camera, I believe, and they are going to be watching that one down there in Wayne County. Great view there, and they're going to be watching that storm as it moves over into Wayne County. All right, so that's what we've got here as far as Williamson County goes. There's a shower coming into western Williamson County here. No big deal. Not really worried about it. One thing we've got in place here is a cap in the atmosphere. So when they sent up the weather balloon earlier this evening, the Weather Service sent that up. The data that came back showed that there was a layer of warm air, a pretty stout layer of warm air aloft that's really going to cap anything that tries to develop here in the Nashville area for now. So that changes as you get a really strong, what we call a forced cold front, the forcing that comes in with the cold front. That all changes. So storms are able to develop and continue and all that kind of stuff. But like these cells out ahead of this line, I don't really expect that this will turn into much because of that cap. It's something to watch, but that was encouraging news when we got that data in from the weather balloon, because it showed that, it really sort of helped us, our anxiety levels come down a little bit about storms getting going ahead of the line. What are you guys noticing with this? It looks, I mean, these lines are getting a little closer together, guys. I would not be surprised at all if the HRRR is dead on and this thing does just kind of turn into one thing.
Yeah, it's going to catch it looks like. One thing I've noticed looking at some of the instability graphics is that definitely much more unstable down around Savannah and Southwest Middle Tennessee. Dew points closer to 60, the upper 50s. Compare that to lower 50s across most of our viewing area. So it's going to be a little more stable here. The cap, as we saw in the sounding, is in place. So that will limit the stuff out ahead, as you mentioned, Andrew. It will limit the veracity of the stuff that fires up out ahead of the line. So what we're really going to wait on is the line itself will continue to force itself to develop. So it's driving across the countryside and it's creating lift. But we're also seeing very strong lift in the 5,000 to 15,000 feet above the ground layer due to this blizzard, upper low that's driving the blizzard conditions over the Midwest is going to cause lift and cooling in that cap layer. So we'll have the front and the existing thunderstorms are going to cause lift at the surface. And above that, we're going to have cooling and lift in that layer where the cap is, and that'll help erode the cap, which is why we think that the odds are this line is going to maintain intensity. Certainly straight line wind, severe intensity seems likely as it comes through Middle Tennessee here in the next hour and a half.
That's great. That's great info and great insight into how this thing is going to behave as it gets here. Getting some good questions here about, just kind of what to expect exactly where you are. And really, we're still at that stage, even though this is kind of getting close, we're still at that stage where sort of the general forecast still applies to everybody. So we haven't gotten to the stage yet to where we have, we're going to get strong damaging wind gusts in North Davidson County, a tornado in southern Williamson. We're not anywhere close to that yet. As close as this is, we still got time here to figure all that out. Right now, the forecast is still perfectly intact, where we were talking about the greatest threat being for strong damaging wind gusts. There is a potential for tornadoes. That risk is much lower than the damaging wind gust threat. So to put that in perspective, I think, what is it, 5%, guys? I don't know what the latest SPC was, but a 5% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of you. That's a relatively low risk. Okay, in the grand scheme of things. Is it zero? No. All right. Those folks in Savannah right now with all their phones going off and everything will tell you their risk was not zero. Okay. So, but as Tom mentioned, the instability parameters a little higher down there and a little bit more of a risk of those tornadoes down that way. But the risk is not zero for tornadoes here. So let me say this about what to expect here and what really we need to do over the next hour or so as we're waiting for this thing to come in. I would go ahead and clear out the safe place in your home. I'd go ahead and do it, and just do it now so you don't have to do it later. And that way you don't have to worry about it. Have that safe place cleared out, have whatever you need in there as far as flashlight, whatever, and a way to get warnings. If you're planning on going to bed here in the next 30 minutes or whatever, and you're planning on being asleep when this comes in, please have a way to get warnings. I don't, at the moment, these are not the base level severe thunderstorm warnings. These are severe thunderstorm warnings that might include hurricane force winds. All right. So this is definitely something to pay attention to. Even if it's not a tornado warning, these storms could really be a little bumpy. Okay. So have a safe place to be over the next couple of hours. This is not going to be an all night event. This is not last spring, early April, where we were here till 5 o'clock in the morning. This is not that event. This is once this line gets out of here and the worst of it moves just east of us, we're good to go. Okay. So that's how this event will go tonight. So it looks like, just mentioning a couple of comments here in the NWS chat, it looks like they are, at the moment, they are not planning on extending the tornado warning into Middle Tennessee down southwest of us into Wayne County. So they are not currently expecting to do that. That storm's already in Wayne County. It's right there crossing over. But they are not expecting to issue that tornado warning imminently down there. They're going to let that one in Memphis's area expire. And but they're watching it very closely. New special weather statement here. This is kind of a junior severe thunderstorm warning for 50-mile-per-hour winds. That's back there around Lobelville and Hickman County. That's Perry County, Hickman County, and Humphreys County. That's a little encouraging that it's not a severe thunderstorm warning, but that could change. And of course, this one up here, this is a pretty hefty severe thunderstorm warning. This here is a severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour winds. Could cause considerable damage up there. Let's go look at their velocities. I'm just curious, just to kind of get a handle on what our velocities look like up there. Well, that's pretty strong, guys. Let's put that in motion here a little bit. I don't really like dark blues on velocity. That's not my favorite. Let's see. Winds up there at 2,500 feet, or about 83 miles an hour. 95 miles per hour at 2,500 feet, Tom.
The environmental winds are ridiculous. I mean, that's all of that.
And explain what you mean about that.
Yeah, I think if you look south of Cadiz, Kentucky, southwest of Hopkinsville, that leading edge there, a lot of that is reaching the ground.
Yeah, as opposed to
the winds further back southwest that are not along the leading edge of the convection. They're more up in the end, but they're still they're there to be tapped by the thunderstorm if it can do that. So that's extremely strong flow in the lower parts of the atmosphere. Anything over 90 miles an hour is extremely fast. So yeah, lots of, and that's what the warnings have been hitting on, is the 70 to 75 mile an hour winds. And that's exactly what the radar is showing there, coming in southwest of Hopkinsville and into Stewart County as well. Yeah.
So this here, as Tom was talking about here, the radar, we're looking at the Hopkinsville radar now, which is right there around Trenton. That's right there on Highway 41. If you've been up 41 up through Trenton, Pembroke to Hopkinsville, the radar sits right there across the street from the railroad tracks. And it's shooting straight back here to the west. It's at about 1,800 feet, 1,600 feet. It's 70 miles an hour. That's much more likely to be reaching the ground than down here, where you're up, the radar beam's up at about 2,500 feet, and you got those 90-mile-per-hour winds there. Would be shocked if there's 90-mile-an-hour winds reaching the ground. So that's at 2,500 feet. But you knock a little bit off of that, Tom, that's still pretty strong. That still could be easily 65, 70 miles an hour down there at the surface.
Yep, significant.
So that's kind of what we're watching tonight. We're watching the potential that these, the leading edge of these storms could be significant and could carry a pretty decent wind risk with them along the leading edge. So yeah, it looks like now these two lines are sort of catching up to each other. So like just to kind of illustrate, this here was number one, and that there is number two. And I mean, there the space between them is getting pretty close. So looks like those are going to catch up with each other and become one line. And that is so crazy. That was modeled so well in the HRRR model. That's exactly what it thought was going to happen. And so it's interesting to see that. Let's see. Elon, what questions are we getting that we haven't talked about yet? I think you've kind of been watching some replies and some other stuff. What are people asking?
There's been a lot on if there's any updated timing, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still thinking that probably between, I don't think it'll be here at 10 o'clock. Between 10 and 11 is still holding, I think. I mean, again, it's remarkable how well, 2 days ago we had the timing. I mean, it was the exact same timing like 2 days ago. And remarkably, that has held. So I think we're still looking at kind of that 10 to 11 time frame. The tornado watch, if you've been around here long enough, you know how this works. You get a tornado watch or a severe thunderstorm watch or something till 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever. In this situation, the storms blow through, and what the Weather Service will do is they will start clearing rows of counties as the threat moves east. So say the storms are in Lebanon or Carthage, they're east of us. They'll start clearing counties from the watch from west to east, okay, behind the line. Fully expect them to do that today. I think tonight they'll do the exact same thing. That they do that pretty regularly with an event like this. So where it's pretty clear to see where the threat is and where it's not. So they won't leave us under a watch till 3 a.m. I really don't think so.
There's another good question and asked, is the lines merging good or bad as far as tornado risk?
Tom, what do you think about that?
I think it's kind of holding serve. So I think that the main tornado risk for us was always going to be a spin ups along the line. So having a single line as opposed to storms out ahead of it, it basically is the same. So I think that'll be our, and there has been quite a few comments and questions in the chat about tornado risk. Clearly people are concerned and rightfully so about that. It does appear the tornado threat is non-zero, as you've hit on, Andrew. I think we're in that 5% is a solid probability range. We see a lot of these events as they come into Middle Tennessee. Not sure if it's terrain induced or just the nature of where we are, but we do tend to see little spin ups along lines like this. So that is something our broadcast will be really focused as things come through to make sure we're letting you know if we see anything spinning up and becoming a little more dangerous. But the main threat is going to be a straight line winds, that 70 mile an hour straight line wind. There's been questions in the chat about whether the ice storm and all of that has made us more vulnerable. And absolutely it has. We have weakened trees, we have damaged trees, we have temporary infrastructure in place still. So yeah, this is going to be more impactful than your average 65 to 75 mile an hour wind event coming through would. But we'll be watching, really closely for those potential spin ups. But the main threat is that damaging straight line wind.
These are the little areas we're going to have to watch, Tom, I think here, this one here in Perry County. This is right on the southern edge of a separated cell here that's along that first line. So this would be an example of a place we would need to watch. In fact, I'm going to change our view here a little bit just so you can maybe see a little bit wider view on our radar. So if I zoom in here, this is on the Hopkinsville radar, but right there around Pineview, see on the southern side there, you can see, well, it just updated, but you see right there, that's kind of an area we're gonna have to watch. You see a little bit of enhanced winds going toward the radar, a little bit of a weakness and winds going away. They're not really going away there. There's a severe thunderstorm warning that they just issued, actually. So they decided to go ahead, issue a severe thunderstorm warning on that. And so they're, they went ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning on that. That's for 60 mile per hour winds. And that's probably a good call because that storm right there looks like it's got a little bit of a punch to it.
And one thing we'll have to keep an eye on is as that line catches up with that storm and they merge, that could give it a little bit of an impetus to get stronger. So we'll be tracking that one closely. That's a good catch.
That's one we'll keep an eye on. Switching over to the Nashville radar here, let's see what it kind of shows with it. Yeah, it's a little bit more. But see, you got these areas here. This is the kind of stuff right along these leading edges here. You see the difference in the wind. So the wind around Buffalo, not much, but right back behind it, right when you get in this heavy rain, is where you get these winds here that could be up in the 60-mile-per-hour range. And I think a good call on a warning there. Radar beam's still pretty high there, but a storm that demands a little respect for sure.
Andrew, I don't know if you already mentioned this, but people were asking about weather apps to alert them if they do decide to go to sleep. Stormwatch Plus is a good one.
Yeah. I just had this conversation today with somebody at church. They were asking a question, and it was a great question, and probably one we haven't talked about in a while. But one thing they didn't know, and the reason I mentioned this conversation was that I said they were asking about, they turn their ringer down at night or do not disturb or whatever like that. Well, there are certain apps that get approval to override those settings. An app like Stormwatch Plus, which I've used for a long time. The only reason that I took it off my phone, the only reason is because I'm on here when that goes off, and it scares me half to death because it's right in front of my face. But if I was like everybody else and wanted to go to sleep and all that kind of stuff, I would absolutely have that on my phone, just because, you got to pay a little bit for the alerts. There's some infrastructure involved with that, but it will override your do not disturb settings, all that stuff on your phone to make sure that you get those alerts. So that's one of those that you can use. I'm sure there are others out there, and apps have come a long way. But that's one of those features. Just be sure, if you're looking at apps, be sure that it can override your silent settings, do not disturb or whatever. Of course, you want to have your WEA alerts set up on your phone. Your WEA alerts are the ones that are baked into your cell service. And so certain warnings will trigger those WEA alerts. So certain severe thunderstorm warnings, if they reach a certain criteria, will trigger them. Tornado warnings will trigger them. Flash flooding, I believe, at a certain level will trigger them. So there's a few things that will trigger WEA alerts. Those are also very useful, but be sure those are enabled on your phone as well. Those are helpful. And those are Polygon specific. So like with Stormwatch Plus, you put your home address or whatever in it, and so it has your location. So it won't go off for the whole county. So if you've got a warning up here in Goodlettsville and you live in Oak Hill, it won't go off. It'll only go off if you're inside the Polygon.
Andrew, somebody had a question earlier.
Sure.
I'm just learning about this, the new software we're using, this WeatherWise. There was a blinking polygon earlier, and they asked a question about that. Is that about to expire warning? Is that what the?
Oh no, that's one that was just issued or edited, and it helps get my attention.
Nice.
So it blinks for about 10 seconds or so just to make sure I don't miss something. So
Perfect.
I've got this up, and then I've got the software that I have traditionally always used on our broadcasts is right here. This may look more familiar to y'all. This is software that I've used for years on this broadcast. I've got it off to the side. I'm using more of a web-based. This is WeatherWise, and it's got a free app. You can have it on your phone, but it has some features that I really like. In our last storm event, we used the traffic cameras, so we can access traffic cameras at any time. And so we can pull up any traffic camera we want. And so there's a few things like that I like, and I'm trying out. So I know some of this might look a little different to y'all as far as flashing polygons and all that stuff, but I'll try to interpret it if anything looks a little strange. So what we'll notice here, the yellow polygons are going to be severe thunderstorm warnings. The orange polygons, the way I've got it set up is I've got the darker the polygon, the more severe that is forward. Does that make sense? So like the yellow ones are your base level 60-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm warnings. The orange one here, it's a little bit darker. It's for 70-mile-per-hour winds. And so that's a notch up. There's 3 steps of severe thunderstorm warnings. And the highest one is even kind of a darker orange, nasty mustard yellow color. So that's kind of the way I've got those set up. That's an interesting looking storm down there around Loboville. Split the view here. Huh. Yeah, something to watch. Something to watch. Right now, it's got a severe thunderstorm warning with it, but they're they're actually looking at a decent hail core aloft. Still thinking hail to quarter size, possibly a few larger stones to $half. Yeah, so that looks like a decent hailer right there around. And hail wasn't kind of on the top of our list today as far as risks go. I'll pull up the other radar here that we typically use. It has hail markers here, and it's showing a 1.7 inch hail marker, which these are always a little overblown. But yeah, decent hail core with that one there.
Yeah, you're not going to typically get a lot of hail along the line since it's a lot of updraft sharing the energy. But you get a storm like that that's out ahead of everything else, and it can make full use of what's around it.
Yeah, it is kind of out there alone. I mean, it's really almost a full county away before you get into heavier convection down there. So it's got some energy to use. Looks like I'm coming into a conversation here about green bean casserole. Sounds good to me. I had McDonald's chicken nuggets for dinner, and they were good. But I tell you, I could go for some green bean casserole if it's like the green bean casserole that is actually green bean casserole. I don't know what y'all are talking about, so maybe I don't want any of what y'all are talking about. But actual green bean casserole, I'll take it. This little storm, remember how we were talking about, those of you who've been with us for a little while. Good night. There's a lot of people on here. Hey, guys. I didn't realize. We got a lot of people watching. All right. Well, glad y'all are here. I should probably be a little more professional. Maybe not.
Don't start now, Andrew.
Don't start now. It's really, we're still a couple of counties away from being professional here. We've got time. We're still shooting the breeze. Hey, I'm just enjoying it. 70.9 in my backyard. I'm just going to enjoy that while, we need to just pick up and move out there with the laptops for a little bit, just for a few more minutes of nice warm weather. This little storm out here to our west, remember we were talking about this. See how it just has struggled? It just has not really done anything. All right. So, look back down here, see, like if we were in a real conducive supercell environment, that would have just really exploded. All right. And we would have had a tornado threat with that, with this kind of environment, if it had really been allowed to grow. But it's like it has a big weight on its shoulders. It can't go up. It can't develop. It can't convect. And so it's just kind of left to what it is. So not expecting much with that. That cap in the atmosphere is what is keeping that thing at bay. And we'll take that. That is a pretty angry looking cell there around Buffalo.
Just had a real nice wind gust here in Germantown, enough to kind of shake the house. So
it has been something today, hasn't it?
It kind of died down around sunset, and it hasn't been. I haven't really noticed the last couple hours, but it was just all of a sudden the whole house was just kind of rocked. So the atmosphere is kind of waking back up, and maybe a little something with that shower in Western Davidson might be feeling a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, it has been a day of wind. It's not quite as bad as the high wind warning event we had back. I don't know what's that been? Has that been 2 years now? Where we had that day of just insane winds. I mean, like 100,000, 100-something thousand people without power, and it was just a mess. hadn't been quite that bad, but man, I mean, 50. I think the last number I saw, the highest was 51 at B&A, 51 miles an hour. That's not bad for a spring system like this. That's pretty strong. So Weather Service is drawing up their next round of severe thunderstorm warnings for the southern storm. So that's going to include Wayne, Lawrence, Lewis, Perry, and Murray. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and small hail. So we're going to see more warnings pop up. That's going to get even closer to us, but still not yet include us. So still waiting on that. There it is. All right, so there's that new severe thunderstorm warning. Comes right up to our border on the southwest side, Spring Hill, Thompson Station. That's down in the Smarden, Greenbrier, Boston area, is just over the border there. So, so not quite into Williamson County, but getting pretty close. So that severe thunderstorm warning down there is going to be for 60-mile-an-hour winds and some small hail possible with that one. Main storm still looks to be this kind of supercellular looking thing over here in southern Perry. I'm sorry, southern Humphreys. And we're going to keep watching that. That's got a decent hail core. It's got kind of a good structure with it, decent structure with it. And one reason we have to watch those is because it's right on that wind shift line. Now, let me tell you something about this front. This front means business. The temperature drop behind the front. I mean, if you were to go outside at midnight or I don't know, whatever time after these storms push through and you go outside, you're going to pretty quickly start telling the difference. This front, I mean, earlier today we were watching the St. Louis area was having tornado warnings, and on the other side of this, the Kansas City area, so just right on the not even to Kansas City, they were having a snow squall warning. There were snow squalls, sideways snow blowing just west of St. Louis in Missouri. So same state, and one was dealing with a snow squall warning, and one was dealing with a tornado warning. This front is very interesting. It is very sharp, and the temperature drop behind it is quite something. So, Weather Service mentions about that little storm out there. We've kind of been talking about this one. They mention that they are not terribly concerned about it at the moment. They're watching it, and I agree. I was looking at the velocities there, not seeing anything just terribly concerning at the moment. That could change, and honestly it could change kind of quickly. So I know they're watching every radar scan too, but it's right on kind of a wind shift line, and weird things can happen there. So I know they're watching it as well, but they're gonna watch that storm, make sure it's not gonna start rotating. But as soon as it does, I don't think they're gonna hesitate to pull a trigger and get a warning out if they need to. But right now, holding steady with a severe thunderstorm warning there.
Andrew, how easy is it for you to go up a couple scans and look at that? Because when you look at that storm, the 2.5 degree elevation angle, it has a much better shape. It also has a pretty good rotational.
So is it right there?
Yeah. So there's a mesocyclone associated with it as well.
Oh yeah, right there.
Yeah. So that's the hallmark of a severe storm. So not a lot of rotation at the surface, but the updrafts of the storm is rotating, and that gives the storm some extra oomph. It causes it to actually rise faster. It not surprising there'd be hail when you have a strong mesocyclone like that. So, and again, it's another reason why we're going to have to kind of track that storm as the line catches it to see what kind of interaction we have.
Yeah, good catch there. So back at the surface here, or the lowest level, I should say. Yeah, we're gonna have to watch that and just kind of see that. That really just, I mean, you just look at it and you're like, yep, need to pay attention to that one. That's what we need to pay attention to. And really, one of the main reasons that I want to pay attention to it is because it is generally moving northeast, right? And what's the speed on that? Let me get it. Let's see. That thing is moving northeast at 40. Just try something here. All right, so that would put it in Fairview in about 49 minutes. Brentwood would be a little over an hour. Same for Oak Hill. Nashville, almost an hour and a half. It's 9:29 right now, so that'd be 10:45 probably. B&A, probably about that time. But that's, ETAs, estimated times. So watch it as it comes in, and those will be adjusted for sure. Something tells me it might be moving faster, especially if that line catches up with it. That thing's going to start making a beeline. I'm not sure it's going to be doing 40 miles an hour when it gets here.
And you can see the line is moving a little faster than it, and it also might cause it to shift a little more to the east. Right now, it's moving, basically to the northeast.
Yep.
So it would clip, it would probably clip Davidson County if it stayed on that track. But that line could cause it to push just a little further east as it merges.
So Weather Service said in response to a question here that they do anticipate warnings continuing to go downstream here. And by downstream, we mean from, you see where they are now. And that would include us, Williamson County, here in the next layer of warnings in the next little bit. So they say, based on the environment, storm strength and motion, Williamson County will probably get a warning in the next hour, and we would expect something similar for Davidson County. That thing still continues. It looks to be almost getting stronger. The hail core is looking good. I don't know about stronger, but let's switch over here to this radar. Kind of look at the structure a little better. So it's got 50 dBz up to about 27,000.
That's very significant in middle March.
Yeah. Yep.
It also look at the dry area to the south of the storm.
Yeah, right there.
The Lobelville. Almost, and it almost looks like that's associated with the storm. There's some sinking air behind the storm. But it also has a shape of a little outflow there. Healthy storm.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it looks like it's kind of riding that. It looks like there's kind of two forcing lines here, kind of one there and then the front itself back here. But it's you just get the winds interacting right there, and weird things can happen, and feeds that thing, and you get the, with that cap in place, you get that forcing needed to really launch a storm and feed it and all that kind of stuff. So there is energy there in the atmosphere. It's just it just has to be tapped, and it can't really right here at the surface right now, as evidenced by that storm there, or that little rain shower. It just never could really tap that energy. These storms back here can tap that energy that's available. So I'm glad we're not dealing with too many cells out ahead of this thing. New severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect for Robertson County. We're getting surrounded here. So Montgomery County, Robertson County, Cheatham County. And that's for again, they're kind of bumping that one up a notch. 70 mile per hour wind gusts, quarter size hail. That's kind of a level 2 severe thunderstorm warning up there in Robertson County and Montgomery County, Cheatham County. So again, that's the orange color there. That's kind of that level 2. So the severe thunderstorm warning is kind of the base level, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, quarter size hail. That's your yellow. orange is the next level up, and then it gets kind of an ugly mustard color if it gets worse than that, level 3. So that kind of helps differentiate those for you just at a glance. What they're also doing, it's worth mentioning, they're also putting in what's called a tornado possible tag in that warning up there. So what the Weather Service is saying here, sometimes they put this text in the warning down here where it says, in fact, I'll just full screen that so you can see it. That tornado possible thing there. So it's a severe thunderstorm warning, but it also means that you could get a tornado out of that, and you need to start paying attention. So it's kind of there. It's not quite a tornado warning, but they're watching it very closely. So that's part of that warning up there. This one up here is, it means business for sure. Okay. Any other? I was just noticing a report from Ham Radio. Potentially over 5,000 without power in Stewart County. That's a pretty significant number for Stewart County. So a lot of power outages up there. 5,300 power outages there. That's up here where Dover is. That's Stewart County there. So that storm was meaningful for them, it appears. And sort of helps reinforce that decision to give a pretty decent warning here for up there north of us.
Paducah had a spotter report 70-mile-an-hour winds just across the border in Christian County, Kentucky.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, let's look at there. Oh yeah, look at those. Look at that. Right there at Fort Campbell. I'd love to know what Fort Campbell's readings are. But yeah, they've got these are winds right off the surface, and these are 60, 70 mile per hour winds. Easy. There's hurricane force right there, 70, 75. That's up at about 500 feet off the ground. So that's crossing right there where Highway 41 and I-24 cross. That's some strong winds up there. This one down here, I just still there's a tornado warning up there for Montgomery County.
Yep.
Still, this one down here is just kind of got me a little nervous, but gonna be watching it. This is a tornado warning up there in Montgomery County, and that's for this. Let's go over to the Fort Campbell radar.
If you look at the reflectivity, you'll see there's a nice little not
right.
quite Popeye arm, but certainly a little notch there on the front end.
Yeah. So again, this is not for us. This is up there in Montgomery County, but they've got, you see this notch right there. See that? So right there along the border, it's going to be interesting to see whether the Paducah office right there? It's going to be interesting to see if the Paducah National Weather Service office issues a tornado warning for their side over there. This is going to be right along the border up there in Montgomery County, but potential spin up there around Woodlawn and right there around.
What's the magnitude of those velocities there north of Woodlawn? That's 75 plus.
That right there is 83.
Yeah,
at 1,000 feet.
So that's the kind of subtle little signature that can herald a spin-up tornado along these lines. So that's the kind of thing we'll be, and the National Weather Service will be watching very closely as that comes through Davidson and Williamson counties here in the next hour and a half.
Yeah, you see how the velocities are sort of bulging out right there. That's a prime spot for a spin-up right there, up there in Montgomery County. So, yep, that's what we'll be watching for. That's for sure. That's right along that line.
that southern cell, the line behind it is made up about half the distance from when we were talking about it about 20 minutes ago. So
It's hauling.
it's reeling it in. It's just a matter of where it's going to catch it and what's going to happen. That's going to really be something to watch.
Since we were speaking about power outages, this might be a good time to say that it's not a bad idea to go ahead and charge your phone and your
Yep.
devices in case you do lose power.
There you go, Elon. Good one. Yep. Charge your phones, plug them in.
I just plugged mine back in. Thank you,
There
Elon.
you go. Yeah, whatever you need to do to charge your devices, now's the time. So you'll get probably a good 30-minute to hour charge in there, perhaps, depending on where you are. Hopefully you don't lose power. Odds are you won't. So, but yeah, there they went. Paducah did go ahead and issue that tornado warning up there. So nice coordination between offices. That's one thing we talk about from time to time, and we talk about on the Debris Ballers podcast. Tom and I have a podcast we might as well go ahead and say something about. So Tom and I are part of a group with two other guys. I just have a seat at the table. I get to talk to and interview three experienced meteorologists, retired meteorologists with over 100 years of experience between them of surveying storms, and we cover storms nationwide, severe weather events, mostly tornado events that are kind of newsworthy events, and talk through kind of what happened and kind of the forensics behind the whole thing. And one thing we talk about is the coordination between National Weather Service offices. So it's called the Debris Ballers podcast.
It's been very interesting. We talked about the Kankakee tornado. We talked about the Southern Michigan tornadoes. Hopefully we won't have anything worth talking about with this event. So we ended up with 4 episodes in the course of a couple of weeks. So that's been interesting. With the whole goal there is just to educate, especially about the damage survey process, kind of take you behind the scenes of the warning decision process for the National Weather Service. So check it out if you get a chance.
Yeah, that's been a good experience. Weather Service says they are keeping Davidson out of the new warning that they just issued here, all the way up to our border. We are becoming surrounded and boxed in here. They are issuing warnings around us. They have not come into our 2 counties yet, but we're getting close.
55 knot gust at Hopkinsville Airport. So
okay,
it's
what
really,
about
it's all happening.
62, something like that?
Yep.
Mid
60s.
60s.
Yep.
Looks like we lost the Hopkinsville radar too, I think. 33 was the last scan. Yeah. Weather Service says, yeah, actually they say Hopkinsville radar is likely down for the night. Whoops. All right. So we'll rely on Nashville here. No problem for us there on that. That's all right. They're watching some rotation down on the Lawrence-Lewis County line. That's this right here. Yeah. Some broad rotation there. Well, probably right there is probably what they're watching.
It's a shame we lost that Hopkinsville radar. That really gives a nice second look at stuff coming into to Nashville, Williamson County.
Yeah, it does. It looks like I guess it took a wind gust there on the front edge or something. Who knows? But
Yeah, I hope it wasn't damaged. I mean, there's 70 plus mile an hour winds right there.
yeah,
So
right there. This was the last scan we got from it. That was at 21:31. That was 9:31 p.m. and it was right as those strong winds were approaching the radar site. So that would have been there were 58, 60 mile per hour winds blowing right into the radar site. So no telling what happened. Hopefully it wasn't damaged. But they do have backup utilities. I'm pretty sure that's right.
yeah, they have a standalone generator for the radar. So it could be a communications issue. It's
Yeah.
probably the most likely situation.
Yeah.
It looks like that cell right there that you're looking at just got a 2-inch hail report on it.
2.
This is in chat.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not good. It's reading 2-inch hail marker on our GR software. So radar's reading 2 inches. I wouldn't have expected that to be reaching the ground, but maybe so. Man alive. That's a little larger than I was expecting out of our storms tonight, but
That's a healthy storm.
yeah, it's catching up, Tom. That line's starting to it's just about on its heels.
Yeah, somewhere over Dixon, Cheatham County is where it's going to catch it.
This is quite the warning map tonight. We got polygons all over the place. Haven't had this in a while. It's like the nearest tornado warning is down. Well, other than Clarksville, it's down there in Alabama. That's up in the Florence area. When is Florence not under a tornado warning? It seems like Lauderdale County there gets quite a bit of that.
That cell in northern Lawrence County has gotten a little healthier past couple scans.
Probably too far away for TBNA. Yeah, a little bit too far away. Get down there and look at it. Yeah, it's starting to match up. So this is what they're watching down there. Good catch, Elon. So they're gonna be watching for those. See those strong blues there. That's wind surging up around the edge there. These greens don't necessarily mean the wind's going away, but because the storm motions are so fast, I call it kind of a velocity weakness. It's a weakness in the velocity as the mesocyclone tries to come back around. It may not literally be going away from the radar, but it's going toward slower. So it's still green. Is that accurate, Tom? I don't know if that's right. That's what I've always thought.
We call it storm relative motion. That's really what
Yeah,
matters.
that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
You subtract out the storm motion and you have a circulation. That's what the storm is feeling is that rotation. That's similar height to the circulation we saw back towards Dixon. It's just because that storm's a little further from the radar. So that's a supercell. That's a storm with a rotating updraft. Just like the storm to the north. That one's a little wetter. It's just got a lot more precipitation around it. But it's also a supercell.
That's when we're gonna have to watch out for Williamson County. That one.
Yeah, but Davidson and Williamson, usually it's the same line, but it's two different storms that are going to affect Davidson and Williamson tonight. It's y'all and Williamson are going to catch probably more of that southern stuff, and Davidson might catch the stuff that's coming through Dixon.
And then for everybody else, we get the line of rain behind it. Everybody gets that. So that's quite a core, man. Look at the reflectivities in this thing. I mean, that's very, very healthy. That's 70 dBz, which is the energy being returned. So the radar sending its signal out, sending the energy out. This is energy being returned back to the radar. This is very, man, look at that's a hail spike. Look at that. That's a hail spike on CC.
1.5 inch hail report just came in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, that's every bit of it. That's a healthy hail core right there. Man, that's going to be a major hailstorm for Dixon. Mm. It's a camera in Dixon. In fact, I think we're looking right at that particular storm.
The light show has been really surprising tonight in terms of, you just don't expect to see this in March.
And is that Tom? Is that just because the storms are so tall, or the cold temperatures up there with the ice formation?
That's part of it. I think it's just there's so much lift, both the
Yeah.
convective lift, and then the atmosphere is lifting so much. And then, of course, you need ice is a very good helper for lightning to form. So these storms have got ice in them, so they're just maxing out. It's impressive. It really is.
So little kind of mini supercell coming into Dixon now. Very healthy shape to it. This is a lot smaller in form than you would find in, some other supercells that we've seen this year around the country, but very, very classic shape of a supercell there. Got your hook echo, which indicates it's got a mesocyclone with it. Doesn't necessarily have a tornado with it. We don't think it has a tornado with it. But a lot of lift there, a lot of energy being fed into that storm. And it is tapping the energy that some of these other storms out ahead of the line just could not tap. It's tapping that energy, able to form a very decent hail core with it. And it's showing up here on the correlation coefficient. Essentially, what this is showing is this is mixed precipitation. Okay, so it's picking up a lot of different stuff, and in this case, I think it's picking up raindrops. It's picking up hailstones, different size hailstones up there in the storm, and all that's coming down to the ground. So right there, just west of Dixon, coming right into town, especially the west sides of town and Dixon. That is not going to be fun to be underneath. It is going to be, that's going to be some decent hail falling there.
Definitely not nearly the amount of lightning going up in that storm near Dixon compared to down there near Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, let me go look. Let's look at what about this camera here in Summertown? Let's look at this and see. That's pretty wild. That's a lot.
When you get a chance, you may want to jump over to TBNA and take a look at the cell there, the Dixon cell. It is coming into range now. Velocity looks interesting. It's certainly something we're going to want to keep an eye on. Just a broad rotation.
Yeah, it is for sure. So, we're watching wind come toward the radar here and wind going away right there. So definitely a place to watch. That would be in the right spot. That's bringing the rain back around the backside of the storm. That's your hook echo there on that little cell in Dixon. And I'm wondering about the storm down here. Is it in range at all? Just coming into range. Yeah, still some broad rotation there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just to give you some reference, here's Franklin, Thompson Station, Spring Hill. Down into Murray County, you got Columbia. And then right here, you've got Lewis County and Lawrence County right there. That's where the storm is. A little hard to find that rotation on the reflectivity here. It's a little bit of a mess. But when you go to velocity, somebody asked about ETAs. Yes, I'll do that here in just a second. Good call. This is what we're watching on this is just some broad rotation here of winds going toward the radar, winds going generally away. It's storm relative velocity, as Tom was talking about just a second ago. You have to kind of use your perspective here and understand this storm's racing to the northeast. So you have to factor that in to the way this looks. So that's why it's not red, where you have the traditional greens and reds. You have greens and blues to find that rotation. So a lot of science in there y'all probably aren't interested in there. So that's a big severe thunderstorm warning there. That covers a lot of area. Comes right up to our border. And let's run this. How fast is this thing moving to the northeast? Northeast at 50. Okay. Well, let's see here. So that would be somewhere Franklin here in about 45 minutes. Thompson Station in about 38. So right now it's 9:54. Spring Hill would be about 35 minutes. So Weather Service says the area of rotation that they're watching right there. It's very broad rotation, nothing imminent at this moment. So yeah, basically kind of like that other storm over there in the Dixon area. It's a healthy storm. It's got some rotation with it, broad rotation. Broad rotation in a storm like this just acts to feed the storm, gives it the energy it needs. Your hail sizes may come up. That sort of thing. So it's going to enhance the strength of the storm, but doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be dropping a tornado out of it any minute or anything like that. So just worth watching. All right. So that's this storm down here southwest of Mount Pleasant. Right there is Mount Pleasant right there. That storm is coming in to town there. Still pretty healthy storm there in Dixon. Let's go look at their camera here. This is coming right into town. So this camera is kind of tucked right into the inflow of this supercell here. This little mini, we call them mini supercells. It's sort of tucked right in the inflow part of this storm, right just south of where the hail's kind of all piled up.
And if you zoom back out, you'll see the line is merging with the line now.
Sure is, right in the process of it, isn't it?
Yep. So that might give it a little bit of a boost. Now it's gonna have the line, the energy with that line, but it also will just become more diffuse as it becomes part of the line. But in the shorter term, it could really give it a punch. So we'll have to watch that one as it tracks the next 30 minutes. It's already a significant severe storm. It's the best storm of the day. It's been really, really consistent.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see what happens over the next 20 minutes or so. See how this storm behaves. Weather Service says the winds are extending south to Pleasant View in the next 10-15 minutes. That's going to be up there in Cheatham County. So they're watching this part of the storm up here. Let's go look at velocities. So they're watching these right where you see the greens kind of light up, the greens and blues in there. So embedded areas of some gusty winds. Yeah, you can kind of see where these things are merging, Tom. There's an area of wind there, and the line is sort of overtaking that area of wind out ahead of it. So this is the actual front here where the blues kind of light up, and it's sort of overtaking these little storms out ahead of it. So there on the camera, you're looking in Dixon there. That's so the hook echo here. Move it forward just a little bit, and you can see on the camera that hook echo is kind of showing up to the camera site. All right, yeah, go ahead.
If you zoom back out and look at the velocities, it's just amazing the amount of environmental wind that's driving all this back there, Waverly, Camden area. 100-mile-an-hour winds, just not that high above the surface.
Yeah, we don't see blues like that very often on our velocities. Of course, this radar beam up here is pretty high. I mean, that's 80, 90 mile per hour winds up there to like 8,000 feet. So that's your kind of low level jet there, Tom?
Yep, that's the top
pushing
of
this
the
thing,
jet,
driving
absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Yep. And that's why even with limited instability, the threat was there for winds today. Thank goodness we don't have 1,000 capes today, or this would just be this would be a nightmare. It's bad enough as it is coming through now, but there's so much wind energy with this system.
So we could have had even more energy available to be tapped.
Yep.
To bring those winds down to the surface. So rough as it may be, we may hopefully not have a widespread event here. Hopefully, we've had a lot of people join in the past little bit. Let's sort of recap. Let's step back just a little bit. Recap what's going on. Thank you all for joining us. And we don't even have warnings in effect for us yet. So this is great. Glad you're here. You're watching a camera there. This is over in Dixon. So the hook of a little hook echo over a little mini supercell just got to Dixon and is giving them a free car wash there. Very efficient rain rates with that, probably some hail built in, getting reports over there in Dixon of some large hail. So just sort of backing out, what do we have? We have some rain coming into Williamson County, Davidson County. I'm over in eastern Williamson County, and I'm just now starting to hear some thunders. We have some lightning strikes out there that are moving in well out ahead of this rain. In fact, let's go over here and look at the lightning data. We have dots showing up of cloud to ground strikes way outside of the rain. So even down here toward Triune and Arrington, even some lightning strikes potentially showing up there on cloud to ground data. So that's why you're hearing thunder and lightning out there. If you're in Williamson County, it's barely even raining. These storms have just so much with them. It's pretty impressive, the energy they have. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings back to our west. We are not yet included, but we almost certainly will be included in a severe thunderstorm warning shortly. There are no tornado warnings in effect right now in Middle Tennessee, with the exception of one little one that I think they've expired up there in Montgomery County. I think it's going away. That rotation has clearly moved up into Kentucky, so that one will go away up there in Clarksville. There are no other tornado warnings in effect in Middle Tennessee. There are all severe thunderstorm warnings, and these storms are packing a punch in quite a few places around the mid-state. So that's what we're watching for this as it moves into our counties in Davidson, Williamson. We almost certainly will have warnings issued here after a while. And we'll cover those as they come through and cover the specific hazards with each of those cells. So let's start up here with this northern cell here. This is the one more likely to impact Davidson County. This is the one in Dixon that we've been watching. This is a little mini supercell that got going there that is now being overtaken by the second line of storms. And so the supercell that was kind of out ahead of the line is now being overtaken by the main line. And that kind of is what it is. We don't really know how that's going to affect it. It can affect storms in different ways. Okay, so that is happening now over there in Dixon County. They've had some hail, and there's a severe thunderstorm warning with that. That storm right there is moving at about a northeast at 50 miles per hour. Okay, so let's do just a simple storm track on this. 50 miles per hour off to the northeast. That's going to be, 47 works. That's going to be downtown Nashville in about 40 minutes, so about 10:40. BNA a little after that. Goodlettsville in about 48 minutes. And Percy Priest Lake area over there about in about an hour, a little less than an hour. Okay, so if it goes that far south, it may go more toward the north, toward Goodlettsville, but we'll just have to see. Okay, so that's the northern storm that is more likely to impact Davidson County, and then the one down here to the south. This one down here is one that we're watching to see how it's going to behave as it moves up to the toward our direction. And this is the current picture from Mount Pleasant. This is right as the storm is coming in. Pretty gnarly winds there in Mount Pleasant. That's right there on the square, and that's pretty intense. It looks like winds are coming from right to left, so I'm assuming we're looking south, I would guess. Not exactly sure which direction we're looking here, but looks like
I think the
warning coming out for us. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say the Columbia camera shows it a little bit better.
Excellent. Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. New warning for us, I'm assuming here, Cheatham, Dixon, Hickman, Williamson. All right, so Williamson is now going to be included in a severe thunderstorm warning that'll pop up here in just a second. That's going to be for western Williamson County, basically from Fairview and Fernvale back to the west. All right, so that's going to be, looks like we just lost the camera in Mount Pleasant, unfortunately. Let's go over to Columbia. Take a look at that one. Okay, well, that's a ton of electrical energy.
Seeing a decent little NROT spike on that storm near Dixon.
Yeah, I was going to say let's go over to TBNA.
Okay.
And take a look at the velocity also, and look at the surge of wind coming in from Dixon. If you put that in motion, that really has surged in as that line has caught up.
Yeah, right around Dixon.
It's interacting with that supercell, so that's why you have that broad circulation.
Looks like we lost that
Dixon
camera
and
too.
Charlotte.
Okay. Yeah. So strong winds going right through Dixon. Lost the camera there. Looks like we lost the one in Mount Pleasant also. Surge of winds coming there in southern Dixon County. Going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Looks like
that's the kind of thing that can cause a little spin up to happen.
Yeah. So that if there were to be a spin up there, it looks like that would happen kind of right up there on the north side of that, right, Tom? Right on the north side of that little surge. So that's definitely something to watch out for. Weather Service is also watching this. They're still watching this rotation down here. They said not needing a tornado warning yet. They're watching it. This is right down there in Mount Pleasant. Looks like they've got two cameras down there in Mount Pleasant. That one's downtown. That one's not
when
working.
You got a minute,
Sure.
Jump back to OHX velocity and look at the Dixon storm.
Okay.
It's very concerning now.
Yep. Sure is. Yep. Absolutely. So watching this one real carefully. Looks like right here around right there in the middle of Dixon County, right there. Pretty concerning little spot. And could be some
the reflectivity
rotation.
supports it as well. That's where a spin up could happen.
Yeah. So let me get this off of there. Yep, right there. So that's something to watch. We're going to give it maybe give it another couple of scans or something, but right there's a place to watch just south of that, right in this area here. That's a place to watch for little spin ups. All right, so that's going to be over there near White Bluff. It's going to be moving into Cheatham County pretty quickly. Things are kind of ramping up here for us. All right. So the only warning we have is a severe thunderstorm warning for western Williamson County. And there it is right there. And so that's the only warning we have right now, but we're watching very carefully some things back to our west that could affect us here pretty quickly. All right. So again, let's talk about how to prepare here in Davidson, Williamson County for these storms. Again, what we've said, the main threat is strong, damaging straight line winds. That's the main threat with this system. Always has been. That threat remains. The secondary threat, but it's kind of one of those low probability, high impact things, is tornadoes, spin up tornadoes. Okay. So those can happen pretty fast. All right. So if they get a warning out on it, on a tornado warning, that tornado could be imminent or already happening in a situation like this along these lines. Okay. So they're going to have to watch that very carefully. And I know that they are. I'm watching them watch it over here in our chat, and they're keeping an eye on it. But these are the areas that we have to watch, because if that were to spin up, that was a bad line there. But if this were to spin up, that would be relatively close to Nashville, and that would put us eventually under a warning. So something to watch there. And Tom's going to be watching that off as well. He's going to be watching every radar scan while we kind of go up and down the line here and check in with a couple of different areas. So thunder and lightning now throughout both counties as these storms come in. Severe thunderstorm warning for western Williamson County that expires in 20 minutes. Wouldn't be surprised if things get extended. And looks like increasing tornado potential for the cell in Murray County, and additional cells coming into southern Middle Tennessee from northwestern Alabama. Okay, so they're watching these cells down here. I'm using a split screen here so I can see rain and winds at the same time. So don't let that confuse you. But one of the things they're watching here, this is taking on a little bit more of a super cellular look there, Tom.
But also, let's jump back and look at the rotation up in Dixon County.
Okay.
From OHX.
Okay. Oh, whoa. No, that's no good. That's no good right there.
That's that merger of that supercell and the line, right? Yeah, that's a problem.
It's in kind of a weird spot, though.
It is, and that's why I wanted to look at it with all of our eyes. It's
let me put this. Let me switch and let's all look at it here. So there's that. There it is, right there. It's in a little bit of a weird spot. What do you think, Tom? That's
well, if you put it in motion, it's a persistent feature. So if it's something that's an artifact, it usually won't go scan to scan. But it's been there for several scans.
Yeah, it has. Interesting.
It's not in a perfect spot. It could be a couple things, but I'm concerned by that.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, we're going to keep watching it close. But yeah, that's something we're going to watch. Little area of, it's like it's at least enhanced winds.
Got a tornado warning incoming, including Williamson County.
Yep. All right. Okay. Tornado warning coming for Williamson County. Let me turn the lightning off so we don't get just.
We'll focus on that one for now. On Williamson, I'll keep an eye on the Dixon storm and jump in if we need to.
Great. That sounds good. Tornado warning coming for Williamson County. So that's me. That'll be includes Columbia, Spring Hill, and Williamson and Murray. So we'll cover this polygon as soon as we get it, but that's going to be for this area of rotation down around Columbia. And as soon as we get that polygon, I will pass that along. There it is. All right, let me go back to here we go. So here's your polygon here. This covers basically tornado warning for basically southeastern Williamson County. This does include Franklin. This does include Nolensville. It includes Spring Hill. and includes Arrington and Triune. All right, so let's go look at what this is. This is an area of rotation here around Columbia, just west of Columbia, and it's going to be moving up towards Spring Hill and Thompson Station and up toward Triune and Nolensville. All right, so here in just a minute, we're going to talk about this for a minute, but in just a minute, I'm going to go wake my family up. All right. So I'm going to leave here in just a second, go get them, because this includes me as well. And I would rather them be across the hall and me bail on it if I need to, but I'd rather them go ahead and be sheltered. So I'll get them here in just a second. We've got a little time. But this is an area of rotation here around Columbia. It's moving to the northeast, and we've lost the Columbia camera too. So nothing there. So this tornado will be in Spring Hill first if it does touch down. The text of the warning says this is until 11 p.m. At 10:11 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Columbia, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. And it'll be Columbia around 10:15. That's about now. Spring Hill around 10:20. Thompson Station around 10:30. And Nolensville around 10:50. All right, so this will also include Santa Fe, I-65 east of Columbia, Triune, and Williamsport.
Hey,
All right.
Andrew,
Yep.
it might be visible on that Columbia camera.
I'm showing that the Columbia camera is dead.
I can see it on my end.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, it just came back. Hang on a minute. All right, that looks like a. Are you talking about there on the right side of it?
Just somewhere in that area, just
Okay.
that general area. Yeah.
All right. The few moments that camera was up, it looked like a rain curtain taking over. I don't know that was a. I don't know that was a. I think I see what you were looking at. Looked like a heavy rain curtain taking over. But yeah, we need to. Need that camera to come back. Let me go back to it and see. Tom, are you watching that other cell?
I am. What was there before has kind of wrapped itself out. It's kind of blown out. So I'm not seeing a ton of rotation with the Dixon storm now moving into Cheatham County. But
Okay.
the line itself is looking very healthy in terms of straight line wind potential. If you look there from Ashland City down to west of or east of Charlotte,
Yeah,
if you look on the reflectivity, especially, look how sharp that reflectivity
Yep.
gradient is.
definitely
It's
has
a
gotten
very
more
sharp leading edge, and the velocities are right there on that leading edge. So certainly severe level winds coming into areas just west of Nashville now, in addition to the threat coming up from the south in Williamson.
All right, so tornado warning for Williamson County. This is for, man, those are some strong winds. We see that this is the camera in Columbia now, and very strong winds coming through Columbia. The camera's going in and out. But let's talk about who in our area in Williamson County is under this tornado warning. And that's going to be everybody inside this red polygon. Okay. So if you are inside the red polygon, if you're in Nolensville, if you're in Franklin, if you are in Arrington, Paytonsville, Thompson Station, Spring Hill, Duplex, Kirkland, Triune, Nolensville, everybody in Nolensville needs to be taking shelter. Wake your families up. Get them down to that lowest level of your home, away from windows. So, hey, if I've talked to your kids in school, they know where to go. Lowest level of your home, wherever you are, away from windows, putting as many walls between you and the outside as you possibly can. And that's going to be your safest bet in this storm. So strong rotation appears to be occurring there in Columbia and coming into Columbia just west on the northwest side of town. So we're looking at sort of a 4-panel here of the rotation there. So you got a little time up in Williamson County before this storm gets up into Spring Hill and crosses 840. But we're going to be watching it very carefully as it does. But tornado warning now for Williamson County. And that includes Spring Hill, Thompson Station, Page High School, Sullivan Farms, Franklin, Nolensville, Burke Hollow, Triune, Arrington, College Grove. All you folks need to be taking shelter in the first level of your home, away from windows, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you know anybody that's driving, If you know anybody that's driving down 65 or out driving in these parts of Williamson County, they need to get off of the road. They need to get into a substantial shelter, as rotation seems to be increasing here over the past couple of scans. Looks like there were some reports of power flashes. I think, Elin, you even mentioned that just a second ago there on that Columbia cam. So potentially some power outages there. Looks like a supercell there, Tom. It's sort of taken on that structure.
And again, it's the one cell that's out ahead of the line, so it's got a different environment than the stuff along the line. So until the line catches that, and it probably won't catch that storm even in Williamson County, it will probably be east of Williamson by the time that line catches up with it, or a close call. It's got an environment, a pretty good environment to work with now.
Rotation is quite strong in the north part of Columbia. The Weather Service says so. Definitely strong rotation there in Columbia. Let's put this in motion here and kind of get an idea for exactly where this is going. Yeah, that's getting quite strong, Tom. That's a decent rotation signature there.
It is. Is that OHX or is that TBNA?
That's OHX. Let's check TBNA. Let's go there. Yeah, not uncommon when we get strong rotation that it blanks out there, but
it's still a pretty broad, but it's a very high wind. It's a significant severe storm, even if there's not a tornado. It's very strong winds.
Elin, are you able to get that camera anymore, or is it down for good?
Let me check.
Yeah, if you would check that, that'd be great. And then we'll switch to traffic cameras here in a second, because this is going to be getting up. In fact, let me go ahead and turn them on, check traffic cameras. I don't know what options we have down there. Not too many. Yep, not too many. And I don't know that any are pointed. Yeah.
Are we still not under a warning in Davidson County for severe?
No severe thunderstorm warning for Davidson yet.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah.
There's a nice surge. It's only going to take about 15 minutes for that to cross Cheatham County.
So now's the time in Davidson County to go ahead and be taking cover for a wind threat, the straight line wind threat that we've been talking about, the damaging straight line winds, 60, 70 plus miles per hour. They're coming into Davidson County. Even though there's no warning out, that will be coming. I can tell you that's going to be coming here soon, and they'll get a warning out for Davidson County. But even though there's not one, go ahead and be starting to hunker down, batten down the hatches there in Davidson County as that comes in. Of course, our primary threat right now is this tornado warning down here in Murray County, right around Columbia, and still strong rotation there in Columbia. So right there on the north side of Columbia, and headed up to Spring Hill. So right there along Highway 31 on the north side of Columbia, headed up towards Spring Hill. So expect that this storm will cross 31 and will probably head up into Spring Hill and Thompson Station. So if you're in Spring Hill or Thompson Station, these areas of southern Williamson County, I need you to drop what you're doing, wake the kids up, whatever you need to do, get into a safe place in your home. So your lowest level, away from windows, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So that's the drill. If you've got helmets in your safe place, or you've got helmets there in the house, in the garage where you can easily get to them, go ahead and grab helmets for the kiddos, especially as y'all get in your safe place, and go ahead and put those on. And that's a good idea for the kiddos, especially. So rotation is still pretty strong. Jury's still out on whether this thing is down, guys. We had some power flashes, we believe, on the camera down there before we lost it. I'm going to be looking over here to see. Don't see a very a definite debris signature on that, I don't think.
Finally got a severe for Davidson with a tornado possible tag.
Okay. Severe thunderstorm warning now for Davidson County, and that includes a tornado possible tag, which means that Oh, that's a big warning, and that's going to include the possibility of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Hail to damage or hail damage to vehicles is expected in some of those heavier spots of hail in Davidson County. Expect considerable tree damage. Wind damage is also likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. Mobile homes is another good point down here in Williamson County. If you're in a mobile home in Williamson County inside this polygon, you've got to seek better shelter. All right. You have to seek better shelter if you are inside this red polygon in Williamson County. The mobile home is not an option for taking cover in tornadic winds. It's just not. All right. So Spring Hill is next. The storm, the area of rotation here that we've been watching is right here along Highway 31 and pushing up into Spring Hill. So it's kind of riding right up along the highway. I think it's going to cross the highway and then probably cross Saturn Parkway and I-65 there, and then move up into Williamson County. So there's the area of rotation there. Maybe not quite as impressive as it was a little bit ago around Columbia, but an area of rotation nonetheless with a tornado warning on it.
Yeah, the circulation's broadened out a little bit, but the velocities are still very high.
Let's go look at TBNA here. Yeah. Tom, would you mind talking just a second? Talk to the family just a minute if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So you can see that there's a very focused area of velocity south of Spring Hill. That's part of that broad circulation that has triggered the tornado warning. Moving northeast, good solid 40 to 50 miles an hour. So even if there's not a tornado, significant straight line winds are going to accompany that. So everybody, over the eastern half really of Williamson County is in play for those strong winds. And then you can see the line coming in from the west, from Fairview down to Centerville. That's going to be an additional gust of very strong straight line winds. So it's kind of a double whammy. We haven't had an event like this where there was two distinct storms that we're having to track in our service area. So this has really been a challenge, but I think that the tools we're using are really helpful for jumping around. So any of these, even along that line that's coming into Davidson and Western Williamson, there could still be spin up tornadoes along that. The environment is such that those can still happen. And when Andrew gets back, we'll take a little deeper dive into some of the signatures along that line coming into Davidson from the west. But as we were showing earlier, there's 90 to 100 mile an hour winds, 7,000 feet above the ground, and so the storms are able to tap into that. And once the updraft is able to kind of puncture through that really intense wind layer, then we can start to see those winds get mixed down to the surface. When you get a chance, Andrew, let's take a look at the OHX reflectivity and look at the stuff coming into Davidson real quick.
There we go. Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. So yeah, you can see there's certainly some surges of velocity south of Ashland City. But if you look at the reflectivity, this is what really catches my eye, is there's just some notches and just little areas where anything that kind of juts out ahead of the line or a notch that builds back into the line are areas of some rotation. So those will be the areas we'll really have to watch for something to spin up. Right now, the main threat is, as the warning mentioned, 70 mile an hour winds. Those won't occur everywhere in Davidson County. But if you go back to that velocity image, Andrew, you can see there's several areas of really strong surges of wind. And if one of those comes over your location, certainly strong enough to do some minor structural damage, knock trees down, blow trash cans around, all that stuff. So the main event is coming into Nashville as we speak.
Yeah, main event coming into Nashville and coming through Cheatham County right now. That's where those strong winds are now. The entire area, everybody's under a warning right now. Everybody in Davidson County under a level 2 severe thunderstorm warning, 2 out of 3. It means business. It's a very strong storm coming through Cheatham County, coming into Davidson now, and Fairview as well. And of course, we have this tornado warning down here that continues as the storm comes into Spring Hill. So rotation has appears to have broadened out some there. Not seeing a debris signature, but rotation is pretty decently strong down there as we speak. Might be trying to tighten up a little bit there around Saturn Parkway as it crosses over into Williamson County. So Williamson County, let's recap just a little bit. Williamson County under a tornado warning, basically from Franklin to the east. Pretty much for Williamson County, it's pretty much going to be east of 65 with the exception of down here in Spring Hill, we're in Thompson Station. So the neighborhoods around here, Saturn Parkway, all the businesses and neighborhoods there, excuse me, around Spring Hill. That's where this area of rotation is right there. It's moving off to the northeast. It's going to cross into Williamson County, going to cross I-65, probably right around, I would say probably right around Duplex Road. And then it's gonna cross 65 and be an eastern half of Williamson County issue, that area of rotation. So looks like Weather Service is also watching an area of potential rotation south of Ashland City. Go back up there, Tom. We're going to look at that one again right up there south of Ashland City. Could be some rotation in those little notches, exactly like Tom was talking about. Could be some little bits of rotation forming there in these little surges of wind. Let's go over to TBNA and check that out on the other radar and kind of get a little better feel for it. Yeah, maybe right in there. That may be what they're looking at. A little area of rotation there, just coming into Davidson County here in a couple of minutes. All right, so right in that little notch. Going to be watching that one. So heads up Scottsboro, heads up Beeman Park, heads up up there Whites Creek Pike and 2465 split off to the north, Old Hickory Boulevard, Madison, Goodlettsville, all that. No tornado warning for you yet, but they're watching an area of rotation there in Cheatham County that could spin up. All right, back down here to our tornado warning again. If you are in Spring Hill, if you're in Thompson Station, if you're in Bethesda, especially Bethesda, if you're around Bethesda, College Grove, Page High School, Arrington, Triune, Trinity, Nolensville, all the way up to the Davidson County line, Rutherford County line, everybody east of I-65 heads up for this. You're under a tornado warning. You need to go ahead and be making preparations. Go ahead and get to your safe place if you're south of 840. And again, mobile homes are not going to cut it. And who was that?
That was me. Just I didn't have my mic muted. Just a huge strike.
Yeah, that was. I'd say so. It was like me the other day. It's your turn this time. But yeah, those of you, mobile homes are not going to cut it. Okay, in tornadic winds. So if this tornado is down, then the mobile homes aren't gonna cut it. Okay, so get to a substantial shelter if you are inside this tornado warning that extends from Thompson Station, Bethesda, College Grove, Page, up to Nolensville. Anybody inside this red polygon, lowest level, interior room, closet, or bathroom, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. That's the drill. That's what you got to do. So go ahead and do that now. If you're south of 840, you should already be in that space. You should already be there. All the neighborhoods there in Spring Hill, all these roads, all these subdivisions here, y'all should already be in that safe place. Up here in Nolensville, heads up, guys. You got some time. Okay, we got a little time at my house. We're inside the tornado warning, but we're ready to go to that shelter, okay? And I've just got to go across the hall here, and I'll be good to go. So if I bail, that's why. But I've got everybody ready to go. But we're up here in the far northeastern side of this warning, and we can be in that spot here in about 15 seconds if we need to, okay? So the area of circulation is right here. All right, right there. So that's crossing 65. Let's go over to our other software. We're going to glance at some traffic cameras here, see if we can get an idea of what's going on down there. We're getting down into traffic camera country, possibly. That's not going to help us a lot. It's a bunch of rain, heavy rain, but I don't see cameras south of that. Get out of a split view here. If anybody's got any reports or anything, y'all go ahead and jump in. Are we covered on socials and everywhere, guys? Are we good? Are we cranking? Okay, good. I just want to be sure we're all covered, not leaving anything out.
The Weather Service has picked up on what you've been talking about, Andrew, that the circulation seems to have weakened, broadened out and weakened a little bit. So good news. Hope that trend continues.
Yeah, we do. We hope that trend continues for sure. So that area of rotation here, the idea here is that it is there, right there around Duplex on the eastern sides of Spring Hill, Duplex Road area, and that it's moving to the northeast up toward Paytonsville, Rutterville, Arrington, Hickory Hills, Triune, and eventually up toward Nolensville. So that's what we're looking at there. Again, Nolensville, you got a little time, but you need to be ready to go, and you need to go ahead and be kind of making plans to get to that safe place. Okay, you're inside the tornado warning. Your sirens are going off. Your phones have gone off. All that stuff's gone off to tell you to take shelter. All right, so the drill is to go ahead and do it. So yes, that rotation has broadened out. It's going this way. And it's all moving to the northeast. Yeah, that's broadened out quite a bit, Tom. No evidence that it's on the ground at the moment. All right, so we got that tornado warning there in Williamson County, and I know we got a lot of polygons here. It's even covering up some of the names of the of the town. So Franklin, you're down in there somewhere. There, you're at the intersection of a bunch of warnings. So Franklin is included in the tornado warning. It'll mostly, the rotation will mostly go to the southeast of the city, and it will impact areas basically from I-65 to the east. So this circulation will stay on the east side of I-65. So it has now crossed I-65 and is moving to the northeast toward Page High School, toward Nestledown Farms, Trinity Park, Trinity, Arrington, Burke Hollow, Nolensville is the general direction this area of broad rotation is headed. But they've also noticed, as we have here, that the rotation has been on a downward trend the past few radar scans. That's true. It has. It's not very broad. So what we would be looking for, in fact, it's really broadened out now, that latest radar scan. So what we would really be looking for here is these dark greens being right up against these blues, like right up against. That's what we call gate-to-gate shear, gate-to-gate rotation. We don't see that. The blues are way over here. The dark greens are way over here by the interstate. All right. So there's a lot of land separating the two areas of different direction winds, the shear. Okay. You don't want those to be right up against each other and creating a funnel, tight circulation. So right now that is pretty broad, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We want that to continue. So if that's the trend, we hope that stays. Let's go up here just to the north up here real quick. Here's your wind shift line right here. You see this line right here through Leapers Fork, Natchez Trace Bridge, Bellevue, Bells Bend, Beeman Park. That's right along the front. Okay, that's right along the front. Now up here in Davidson County, we're just talking about these areas of rotation. I'm sorry, areas of damaging straight line winds. These winds here are in the 70 mile per hour range right there around Beeman Park, Old Hickory Boulevard, right there around Beeman Park, Eaton's Creek Road. Looks like winds up in the 70-mile-per-hour range up at radar beam height, which here is at about 1,100 feet. All right, so very strong winds aloft up there. We hope that that's not reaching the ground, but it could be. All right, rotation still looking kind of broad. This is going to be heading right for TBNA. Let's look at that. Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, I'll know here in about 7 or 8 minutes whether it's reaching the ground because it's going to come right through Germantown.
Yeah, it will. That's right. If you freeze up, we'll know that your signal dropped. I guess that applies to all of us, actually. Yeah, this rotation here in Williamson County is looking very, very broad. It has definitely trended that way since it was down in Columbia. Looked very concerning down there in Columbia there for a few scans. Elin noticed some power flashes. We had some reports there as well of some power flashes in Columbia. So we certainly hope for the best down there. If you guys hear any reports from down there, let me know. So again, this is our main event. All right, this pushing through right now. In fact, this illustrates it pretty well. You see the wind shift line right here. We're looking at velocities. So it runs right down through Davidson County, down through Williamson. This right here that we're looking at has been the problem we've been watching for the past couple of days. All right. This is the severe event. There's nothing behind this that's going to keep us up all night. This is not the event back in last April, that we were up all night long and all that. This is not that event. This right here is the event. And once it moves out, we're going to be good to go. Okay. So we just got to deal with this for a little while. These strong, damaging straight line winds. Be in your safe place, especially up here in northern Davidson County. As this thing comes through, these reds and these purples and all this stuff, as that comes through, don't be right up against plastered to the window watching it outside. Okay, be in a little bit more of a protected area. These winds could be extremely strong with the branches that we're going to have flying around out there. It's just a good idea to be away from the windows. All right, because this could break windows if a branch flies into your window or something. So please just be careful, and especially if you're driving or if you know somebody's out driving or whatever, just please, y'all be careful out there with this thing coming through because the winds are strong. Let's maybe go try to do some traffic cameras. Do you guys have any anything specific going on?
Not getting too many reports at the moment, which hopefully is a good sign.
I'm very interested to see. See, I would have expected this to look a little different. I would have expected to see clear evidence of strong winds here, but it's so hard to tell. So hard to tell. That's pretty telling. Oh, looks like we're losing street lights there on the interstate. This is at 46th Avenue. This is over in the White Bridge area. Looks like we just lost some street lights there. So wind's definitely blowing pretty hard to the east. Looks like the Weather Service is dropping the tornado warning for eastern Williamson. The rotation has weakened significantly and no longer needs a tornado warning. All right, so the tornado warning for Williamson County is going away. All right, so tornado warning for Williamson County is going away. But let us know what reports y'all have. This goes for everybody. Let us know what reports you have as far as any damage, any trees down, any kind of damage like that you're aware of. Let us know about that using hashtag TSpotter on Twitter. You can send us a DM. Graham, how do you want reports on Instagram?
Yeah, direct message on there is perfect.
Great. One thing that's interesting here, the rain sheets here are going about the same speed as these cars on the interstate going eastbound. Tells you something. So wind's blowing pretty fast to the east. All right, tornado warning gone for Williamson County. All right, but just kind of hang tight. Don't like go straight back to bed. I mean, give this thing a little time. These things are evolving, all right? So just give this thing some time. Don't be far from your safe place, all right? So severe thunderstorm warning continues for everybody. Everybody's under severe thunderstorm warning. Potential for 70-mile-per-hour winds with these cells as they come in. Let's go back briefly just to the reflectivity mode showing the rain. Kind of a traditional view here of the radar. So we got Davidson County here. We got Williamson County here. Rutherford down here to the southeast, Wilson, Sumner, Robertson, Cheatham. So all clear for folks back in, see how this is going to work. All clear for folks back there in Hickman County, Dixon County, Montgomery County, Stewart County, Houston. Everybody back here is all clear. This is our event for the night. After this, good to go. All right. And I'm fascinated, guy. This is not at all patting anybody on the back. I'm fascinated by the weather models, how well they timed this thing. Elon, what have we been saying for the past couple of days? Based on the weather models, we didn't just make it up. This is not on us. This is just the weather models have nailed this thing.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive. It's always nice to see it work out like this, but hopefully we can get out of here damage free.
Yeah, that would be great. Definitely some strong winds. We've seen power flashes. We've seen street lights. We've lost some street lights as this thing has come in. So definitely pretty strong. Looks like they're watching, Weather Service is watching the storm near Mount Pleasant. So we may not be done with this thing yet. Has some rotation that they're monitoring there near Mount Pleasant.
It looks kind of similar to
It does, doesn't it? Wow. Yep. Okay. So Williamson County may not be done yet, guys. All right. So first area of rotation now is up in eastern Williamson County. That has dissipated. It has dissolved and is not an issue. They dropped the tornado warning, but hang tight because round 2 might be coming up through Mount Pleasant. And this area right here is an area of rotation that the Weather Service is going to be watching very closely. Okay. So that's in southwestern Murray County. And that is right along the wind shift line. All right. So that could enhance the shear and could enhance some rotation potential there, Tom. You see that little cell area of rotation there around Mount Pleasant. It looks kind of like the one did in Columbia a little bit ago.
Yeah, it does. So it's that one bit of storms kind of out ahead of the line still has that rotation potential. Getting around 50-mile-an-hour winds here in Germantown right now. So it's
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, power staying on. So it looks like the highest winds went just north of my location.
Reports of strong winds there from Katie Morgan with Fox 17. She was mentioning crazy burst of wind up there at their studios in Metro Center. So she didn't get a measurement up there, but they had some strong winds up there at Metro Center as well, not far from you, Tom.
Yep.
With that strong area of wind there. So Weather Service is watching especially closely this area. We're looking at a split view here of the radar as we've done a couple of times. We've got the rain reflectivity view here on the right. We've got winds, got velocities here on the left. Got an area of very, very enhanced velocities coming up through out of Giles County into Murray County. And that's kind of wrapping into this cell, this little, almost looks, it's part of a line, but it has a little bit of a supercellular look to it there in Columbia. I think I just had some wind at my place. Yeah, I sure did. There it is. So this is an area of of potential rotation there. We're going to have to watch carefully. Let's go back to Columbia here. And that's a good view of that. So they're looking, if this is accurate, they're looking due south. So toward the right here would be, right there would kind of be the area of interest. Does look like a little bit of a bowl there, doesn't it, Tom? Just a little bit?
A little bit, but it's always hard at night.
It is. It is.
Everything gets reversed, so it's
Yeah.
Yeah, getting some reports of heavy rain and wind, gusty wind. Tree down in Charlotte Park.
Hmm. That one, a very electrical storm too, down there in Columbia. Camera's going in and out. We're getting it, losing it, getting it, losing it. So we'll come back to looking at that here. Looks like a new tornado warning now for Davidson, Sumner, Wilson. Quick spin up tornado there, Tom.
Yep.
Could be possible. All right, everybody, this is going to be quick. All right, for Davidson County, listen carefully if you're in Davidson County. If you are in Old Hickory or Lakewood, Rayon City, Hopewell, Amqui, over into, we'll go ahead and mention Hendersonville, Cedar Grove. If you live near the National Weather Service office, they're on the north side of Mount Juliet, head to your safe place. This is a quick one, all right? You got to do it now, quick. Stop what you're doing, go get what you need to get, and get in your safe place right now. Quick spin-up tornado possible crossing right here. This is going to be right around Maplewood, right there. That's Ellington Parkway. We're looking at the Ellington Parkway camera here. Possible we've got a quick spin-up tornado here. So if you are in Madison, Amqui, Old Hickory, I think I just saw a power flash and we lost it. Still got the camera. Maybe not. We might have a quick.
Your audio dropped, Andrew.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay, thank you. Quick spin up tornado possible here in Madison. All right, so whatever you got to do, very, very, very quickly, get to your safe place. If you're in Madison, Old Hickory, if you are up there around Old Hickory Boulevard, in the Madison area, Lakewood, Hopewell, over toward Panorama Harbor, Hendersonville, the Peninsula, all that over there in Sumner and Wilson counties. Quick spin up tornado possible. Tornado warning now in effect for northeastern Davidson County. This does not include downtown Nashville. Does not include downtown Nashville. It does not include Antioch, Brentwood, anywhere like that. Not included in this warning.
It is ripping along too. It's really got a fast forward speed.
Okay. Let me go over to TBNA and look. Yeah, definitely some rotation there. Even on TBNA, seeing just a little bit of rotation there, going away from the radar toward the radar. There's your rotation right there in Madison. All right. So definitely seeing some rotation there on TBNA. Let's put that in motion here, show you where it's going. Yep, headed right for Old Hickory. All right. So Randy Road, Skyline, Madison campus. All right. Cheyenne Boulevard, right there on the Cumberland River, Riverside Golf Course, over there to Old Hickory. If you're in Old Hickory, stop what you're doing right now. Get in a safe place, lowest level, away from windows, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're in Old Hickory, wake the kids up, wake the family members up, get in a safe place right now. Don't wait. This thing's moving quick. It's moving quick. All right. And I mean, it's already moved from Madison halfway to Old Hickory. All right. So it's moving fast. So do we know for sure that it's on the ground? No. But it could be a quick spin up tornado there. They had to fire off a fast tornado warning there for one of these quick spin up tornadoes just west of Lakewood, heading toward Lakewood and Hendersonville. All right. So if you are watching us from over in Sumner County, over in northern Wilson County, north sides of Mount Juliet, up toward the Weather Service office, if you can see their radar dome from where you live, you know where you are, that you're inside the warning there. So you need to take shelter if you're up that way. Hendersonville for sure, along the peninsulas there, along the lake, Old Hickory Lake. So there's your area of rotation right there. And it's moving pretty well due east, maybe just a little northeast, really, up toward Hendersonville. But right there, like right there across the lake. All right, so tornado warning for Davidson County, northern Davidson County, really far northeastern Davidson. Go ahead, Tom.
No, I'm just watching the storm with you. That's and it's going to be out of Davidson in 5 minutes.
It is. And that also means that it's going to be in Old Hickory in about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So we've got places in Davidson County that this storm's going to be, this potential rotation, this potential tornado could be just in the next 30 seconds before it goes over on into Sumner County. And there it goes. It's already in Old Hickory now. So this thing spun up extremely fast. Did it touch down? We don't know, but it was an area of rotation that tried to really wrap up quickly there right around I-65 in Madison and Amqui, and kind of went right down Old Hickory Boulevard, right into Old Hickory. And it'd be interesting to see what happened with that. Hopefully nothing. But that potential tornado will be in Sumner County in 30 seconds or so, moving very, very quickly. So quick fuse tornado warning there for Davidson County. That'll be gone here in a minute. I mean, in literally 5 minutes, it'll be gone out of Davidson County. Let's look back down to the southwest again. What are we seeing down here? Culleoka, that's that area of rotation down there further south that we were watching earlier. Still an area there we got to watch right there southeast of Columbia, right on top of Culleoka right now. And that's going to be crossing Highway 50 down there. That's Culleoka Highway, New Lewisburg Highway. Going to be crossing there, moving to the northeast and crossing I-65. So heads up for southeastern Williamson County. Still a potential there for some rotation to come together up that way over the next little bit, but nothing imminent there. So tornado warning continues up here for Davidson for this little spin up area. And let me show you kind of what we're watching. What we're watching is these little areas here of these enhanced winds. All right. See these blues, these little patches of blue. These are just these areas. So this is why we say not everybody's going to get strong damaging winds, but they're localized. So it's neighborhood specific. Really is kind of how that works. It's not a widespread 70, 80 mile per hour wind. Let me go back down here. These guys down here are watching some stuff down in southwestern Tennessee. You're going to have to watch that as well.
Those are really good cameras. I mean, you can see the
they
contrast
really
on the night vision there is just, oh yeah, that's.
Let's see. Yeah, these guys, the reason we're checking this camera is they had mentioned there that there was a potential tornado down there in southwestern Tennessee. So we're checking this camera to see what they were experiencing down there. So they saw some power flashes in that camera. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's go up here and check on, okay, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning for east of us. This is going to be over in Rutherford and Wilson counties. The tornado warning continues down up here in Davidson County, but the storm is moving very quickly into Sumner, Wilson, and maybe even just a real small little area of rotation there within the tornado warning. That's going to be in Wilson County here in probably about now.
Yeah, it is now. I think.
Yeah. So that all is going to be over into Wilson County, over there.
Are y'all talking about that area rotation near Tulip Grove?
Yeah, Hermitage. Yep. That's going to be up there in Hermitage, Tulip Grove. That's exactly right, Elon. That's where we are, right here around the Walmart and the Publix. They're in Hermitage, Sherwood Forest. That's going to be moving over into Wilson County, Langford Farms, Springmont, Langford Cove, up there where the Weather Service office is. So just an area of rotation there, really small localized area of rotation. So that's over there into Wilson County now. And looks like they did go with a tornado warning down far to the south. Curious again to check that and see what they're experiencing down there up and down the line. We're kind of watching the different areas of this line to see what to see what's going on. That's going to include the Pulaski area down there. There was some concern that tornado may have been on the ground down there. But for us, we're making progress, guys. We're making progress here. I know this seems slow. We've been on here a while. We wanted to come on early. It's been over 2 hours now. We came on early just to kind of talk this thing through as it came into Middle Tennessee. But hey, in 2 hours, this thing has come in from West Tennessee and has now crossed 65 and is really the worst of it now, getting pretty close to be safely outside of both of our counties. The wind shift now is east of Williamson County. Am I missing? Do they have a warning out for Marshall County? And let's see. Okay. So no warning, but I would imagine some pretty strong winds. That's going to be down here, Eagleville, overall Christiana, down there in Rutherford County. So they have not extended that warning over into Rutherford County, southern Rutherford County much, including Murfreesboro to the south. Lewisburg, still, this kind of stuff is what makes me nervous, Tom. These little areas here. So that's something to watch. There's these little areas of rotation with these storms. I'm just not ready to put them to bed yet. Yeah, right there. We're going to bounce back up to that tornado warning in Davidson County here just a second. Yeah, just a little area rotation down there in Murray County. Let's go back up here and kind of get a status report on Davidson County. That tornado warning continues. But the tornado warning continues for Davidson County, but the storm has moved into Sumner and Wilson. So Davidson, you guys are good. They will trim that warning up and get Davidson out of it here shortly. They're covering a lot of different warnings right now. So it's possible they may not trim it up immediately and get Davidson out of the tornado warning, but they're covering a lot of warnings right now, and they're watching potentially tornadoes on the ground down in southern Middle Tennessee. So they're working a lot of different angles right now there at the Weather Service, and so but my point is that the Davidson County storm has moved into Sumner and Wilson. So the tornado threat in Davidson has passed and is now over into Sumner and Wilson. All right. So this polygon should be trimmed up to exclude Davidson here shortly. Any reports, guys? Are y'all getting anything in? Anything we need to mention as far as reports go?
Just got it was like a Facebook post or something, but some damage report in Columbia.
Doesn't surprise me. What's the extent of it? Do we know?
Trees down, fence that's split. Yeah, it looks kind of messy. Like looks like some pretty decent damage.
Looking at some power outage reports, I kind of say looking at only 2,500 outage reports right now in NES's area. That's great news. What that tells me, the largest outage is right up along like Fern Avenue, Weekly Avenue, the Haynes area, right there, basically Trinity Lane down to the 65-24 split. So big outage there, but that's still less than 1,000 customers. And then everything else is under 500 people or 500 customers. Uh, so honestly, it looks just by that, that's kind of a way we can kind of base damage because as we all know around here, typically when things fall, they take electrical infrastructure with them. So, okay, the tornado warning, as you see, has been trimmed up. All right. So Davidson County is now excluded from the tornado warning. And I'm sorry if I sounded panicked a minute ago when this was initially issued, but that thing wrapped up quick. And it was what we kind of call a fast fuse tornado warning. Like they had to get it out because it was either already occurring or it was wrapping up extremely fast and could be on the ground in 30 seconds. All right. We've seen these things happen where you don't have a lot of time once that warning's issued. So if we upset your kiddos, apologize. I hope they get back to sleep just fine. But those are the kinds of things that concern us. We wanted to make sure that you have as much time as you possibly can to get to a safe place. So that storm is now inside Wilson-Sumner, and we are left with severe thunderstorm warnings. Brand new one was just issued. There's a new one now. And that covers, these are huge polygons. Basically covers everybody else that was not in a warning a minute ago, down to our southeast. So that does include Williamson. Again, still some gnarly weather going on from Nolensville down to Page High School, College Grove, Bethesda. Tom, question for you. This is a meteorology question. Do you think that the cap that we had, the inversion that we had, does that prohibit any of those strong gusty winds from reaching the surface?
It absolutely is, for sure. So we're seeing it more localized, more channeled, as opposed to just everywhere along the line. So I had, BNA gusted to 50 miles an hour, just about 50 miles an hour. I estimated about 50 here in Germantown. So the winds were here, at least, were sub-severe. So it's just those areas where everything kind of comes together with maximum kind of intensity that we're getting the gusts that are closer to 60 to 65 miles an hour. So yes, the cap helped. It helped us not mix through that strongest wind layer and realize all those winds that are just above the surface. So hope that continues. Where there's better instability to the south, you can see the storms had a lot more strength. And we stayed in the lower 50s dew points ahead of the rain here in Nashville, got up around 60 in southern and southwest Middle Tennessee, and that made a big difference in terms of busting through that cap.
Thanks, Tom. So yeah, we would like to consider ourselves fortunate in some ways that we didn't have the energy all the way up and down the atmosphere. That energy was mostly sort of above that cap. And potentially we may not have realized all of that energy all the way down to the ground as these storms have come through. So that's a good thing. I'm still confident that we have some damage out there. I really think so. I'm a little concerned about Columbia. Still some pretty strong weather here. Probably some hail down there in Columbia. Probably some hail coming up into Bethesda here in just a little bit. Bethesda, College Grove especially. Out here around Choctaw Road and Cross Keys and Glen and Comstock Road and Ash Hill. Those roads down there around Bethesda. Looks like a little hailer coming up. And out of Murray County. So that's an area that was showing some rotation earlier. That has really broadened out with the exception of right down here in Marshall County. Still a little area rotation down there that's kind of been just pestering me for the past little bit right there. But that looks like that's going to comfortably miss Williamson County, I think. Stay to our southeast. That's a bunch of warnings, guys. Just lost power in southwest corner of Williamson, Spring Hill area. Okay. Yep. Still pretty gnarly. I'd like to think maybe the winds have calmed down there a little bit. I don't know that. I'm going to try to switch over to TBNA here. It's tough to do because it's right on that polygon. Hang on, let me zoom way in. There we go. Yeah, hopefully the winds it looks like they have. Looks like the winds have calmed down a little bit kind of behind this line. Kind of a mesmerizing loop. Well, same thing. Let me see if I can switch back over to. There we go. Okay, so let me reiterate here for just a second. I think I saw somebody mention something that sirens are still going off in Madison or whatever. All clear in Davidson County as far as that tornado warning goes. That has passed. The sirens will work themselves out here in a little bit once they kind of get the message. Quite a bit of that's automated now based on the polygons. We've made a lot of progress in getting siren protocols and software and all that kind of stuff upgraded. A lot of Nashville and Williamson County, a bunch of stuff. They've done a lot of work in trying to help that situation. If you remember 6, 7, 8 years ago, it was a whole different story. But a lot of the siren activations are very localized now inside the polygon. Some of that's automated even. So as the warning is canceled for certain parts of the county, theoretically those should drop off and not reactivate, but you know how that goes. So that should all wind down here pretty soon. So let's back out just a little bit. Let's talk just a second about what to expect over a little while. Williamson County, you still got the heaviest weather and just for a second, I'm going to turn off the severe thunderstorm warnings. Okay. So let me do that for just a second. All the warnings I'm turning off just for a second. So, your strongest weather here in Williamson County is going to be Franklin to the east, down in Spring Hill, College Grove, Nolensville, Triune, Arrington. So you've got all that rain down there, some hail coming into the far southeastern parts of Williamson County. Definitely some strong weather yet to go there. But from basically west of I-65, all right, so from Spring Hill, Franklin, Brentwood, Nashville, back to the west, you just got rain. We're done with the severe weather threat. Done. Severe weather threat is only with this one line. That's it. So after this moves through, once this passes you, once you're not under the reds and oranges anymore, you're good to go. All right. That's the end of the event for you. So Franklin, most of you guys are in that situation. Leapers Fork, Fairview, most of Brentwood, good to go. So all clear for y'all. These are the types of events I think I like. I like this a lot better than the all-nighters, guys.
For sure.
I'm sure the people watching us do too.
Yeah. I still have Yeah, go ahead.
I did see some Spring Hill hail reports in the chat. I didn't get sizes in there, but there's another one right now. So if you anybody that's reporting hail, Spring Hill area, if you can give us an estimate related to the size of a coin or a BB or something like that, just to let us a better idea how big the hail is.
My guess is it's less than quarter size. Radar estimating about 3/4 inch hail. That'd be my guess. Is it would be less than quarter size, so maybe dimes.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like the hail would be falling right here from Bethesda back to Spring Hill, Thompson Station. This area right here is where we're looking at probably that hail falling.
And someone just did confirm dime sized.
Oh, dimes. Okay, yeah. Dimes makes total sense to what we're doing now. That's dimes are technically, I know, as loud as it is on your house, dimes are technically sub-severe. So it takes quarter size and above to be severe. Dimes shouldn't cause a whole lot of damage. I don't think you're gonna, I don't think you'll need a new roof out of dimes. But it definitely gets your attention. But that's great to know. It's good to know that we've got that down there. That gives us an idea of what to expect up here in southeastern Williamson County. So College Grove, I would probably expect dime size hail here shortly. I don't see it getting bigger. In fact, it looks like it may even be getting a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit as it moves through Bethesda. So Bethesda's getting the hail right now. over the next few minutes. College Grove's next, and then moving on up toward Triune, or right around the 31A, 41A split. Down there at my friends at Bonnie's Barnyard. You ever been there, Tom?
I have not been there. Is
You
it someplace
should.
I need to put on the list?
Oh, absolutely. It's a good store. Absolutely. Everybody needs to go down there at some point. Elin, have you been there?
I don't think I have. Is it a place to go?
It is.
I feel like it needs to be a Nash Severe field trip.
That'd be great. Need to buy some feed for my chickens. Let's see. Oh, I need to turn the warnings back on. I was kind of wondering what was going on there. Yeah, so watching that tornado down in Giles County. Yeah, sounds like they got trees down, kind of a mess down there. Let's just, for the heck of it, let's see what's going on up there in Sumner, Wilson. Definitely some strong winds out there. They're around, see, that's on kind of the Macon. No, that's, what is that? Going into, Hartsville, Trousdale County. Castalian Springs, definitely some strong winds going over there. Having a hard time finding an exact area of rotation there. But at the minimum, strong gusty winds there going through Castalian Springs into Trousdale County. But getting right over to the eastern edge of that tornado warning over there for them. Hail still coming in. Looks like hail sizes have come down just a little bit. That's my guess. I could be wrong about that. Hail sizes probably have come down a little bit around Cross Keys, Bethesda, coming into College Grove here shortly, and around Kirkland. So that 31A, 41A split is called Kirkland, just north of College Grove. And that is the way things are named down here in that part of the county is by like intersections. This intersection is named Arno. This intersection is named Kirkland. Of course, they've all grown a lot since then. Looks like Marshall County, Bedford counties are watching rotation. Back down here, yep, right there. It's just that pesky area, Tom, that we've been watching. That pesky area rotation that's just going way back, and that's going to be Bedford County's problem. But the Weather Service is watching that. So the main wind shift line, Tom, is now well east of us. So talk us through a little bit about, we've got these storms still in Williamson County. Talk to us about the severe threat with that in Williamson County in light of where this wind shift line is now and where the front is.
Yeah, the storm line, the front is east now. So it's that, if there's any severe potential left in Williamson, it's going to be hail with that elevated core that's clipping over the southeastern part of the county. Potential for damaging winds in both Williamson and Davidson appears to be over. It's east of there. The potential for rapid spin up tornadoes looks to be over. So it's just a matter of whether we can get this last little bit of strong storm that's over southeast Williamson to move on out, and then we're done. Then it's going to be shockingly colder, and it's going to feel like February again.
That's all right. We've dealt with it this long. We've had a harsh winter, dude. I got to tell you, I went out today and broke the little. I noticed four of the bushes out in front of our house that I've replaced twice. I went out there and broke one of the branches off. They're all dead as a doornail, man.
Oh.
So I'm to replace them. This will be the third time I've replaced those bushes, because of the first time was after the cold we had what, 2022? Is that the big freeze we had Christmas? And then I can't keep those things alive, man. It keeps getting too cold. I'm just going to put evergreens out there. I'm done with these ornamental, nice bushes. So that'll be a project. So we've gotten through this cold weather of this year, so we can do with another couple of days.
Yeah, the last week of really warm weather really pushed spring full steam ahead. So there's going to be a lot of shocked flowering trees.
Yeah.
It's a typical spring around Ash. We always seem to get out ahead of our skis as it relates to spring weather, and then we get a snapping freeze that sets us back.
We all want to go out to Lowe's and Home Depot and the nurseries and buy all the flowers, and I just sit there and I'm like, oh boy, huh? What's that?
It's too early for tomatoes.
It's too early for anything. I mean,
is.
you never know. You never know when we're gonna get one of these cold snaps, and it's just the way it goes. I mean, it's in Nashville. If you're new here, it's always been tax day. We've said it's tax day. That's when kind of your average kind of last freeze is, and nobody looks at you weird if you plant something after tax day. That's normal. But oh boy, I know it gets tempting, but nope, can't do it right now here in the middle of March. Watching some reports come in from other areas. Guys, I feel like we've been rather fortunate. See, we got a storm report here from West Nashville. Well, that's that tree down in Charlotte Park that I think Graham mentioned a little bit ago. Are we seeing a lot else? I mean, NES outages are at about 3,100. We've had way, way worse windstorms on the electrical infrastructure than this. I'm encouraged by that number. I hate it for the 3,125 families that don't have, or whoever it is that doesn't have power right now. But that's good news. Check Middle Tennessee Electric. Some scattered outages here. Looks like those are right inside of Rutherford County. A couple of hundred down in Eagleville. And about 500 over in Murfreesboro. But Williamson County looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think obviously still lightning and heavy rain going on in southeast and eastern Williamson, but potential for additional severe weather is about zero now. It's really, really low. So we're in a much better place than we were an hour ago.
Yeah, so I'll illustrate here for y'all kind of what we're talking about there. So of course we've got our warnings. Let me turn traffic cameras off. Let me draw here. So here is the wind shift line. That's the front right there. All right. We're over here. So we're right here. All right. So this has moved east of it. This is the problem. This is what we've been watching for a couple of days. This is the severe weather maker right there. It's now east of us. All right. So now that that's east of us, the storms that are behind that we're experiencing in eastern Williamson County right now don't get to take advantage of this energy that's out ahead of the front. All right, so all this energy out here, the warm weather, it's 57 degrees at my house right now. It's 70 something out here on the east side of this front. All right, out in the plateau, I'm just assuming it's that warm out there right now, but it's probably around 70 out there. So there's a lot of energy out there available to those storms that we don't have back here in Davidson, Williamson. So the front has now passed. The cold weather's pouring in. The cold air is pouring in, and really cutting the legs out from under any storms that are forming that are there behind the front. All right, so these really aren't that big a deal at all. Just noisy around Nolensville, Arrington, Triune. Pea-size hail in Eagleville, though. So, yep, hail sizes have come down. We've lost some of the purples. This was that hail core that we saw earlier back there around, who was it getting hail? Spring Hill, I think it was. This was the same hail core that was back around Spring Hill that was producing dimes out there. That has moved to the east and is producing pea-size hail now in Eagleville. So those hail sizes have come down quite a bit. All right. Well, what do you think, guys? Switch over to socials.
I think we're pretty good.
About that time.
I'm almost out of water, so
I'm
about
dry.
about that time. All right, let's do that. Let's switch over to socials. We'll stay up. We'll watch it. We're not worried about it at all. Biggest thing is let us know what reports you have. Any damage you see. If you see any damage tomorrow morning early, be careful driving. I know on my way home, I came home after dark, and I almost plowed right into a tree branch, a decently sized tree branch on Clovercroft Road down in Williamson County, and my headlights didn't hit it just right. I didn't see it. So just be careful if you're driving early in the morning, driving overnight, anything like that. You could have situations like that where there's tree branches, whether it's from the wind today or the line that came through. Just be careful if you're traveling, commuting, doing anything overnight, whatever. Just be careful driving. So yeah, looks like the even that little core right there around Nolensville down to the south and Triune, all that's weakening. So we're really looking good, guys. And but just send us those reports. Use hashtag T-Spotter on Twitter, or send a DM over to Graham on Instagram, and he'll take care of you there. We'll get those over to the Weather Service. They'd love to kind of know, get a general idea of what happened tonight. If they don't know about it already, any reports would be very helpful for them. So otherwise, hey, thanks. It's been 2 hours, 37 minutes, and every single minute of it, I have enjoyed being with y'all. And it has, and that applies to the three guys that are on this call and all of y'all, the, what were we at? 30, 40,000 people, something like that, watching a little bit earlier. Really just enjoyed being with y'all tonight. And I'm thankful it wasn't worse than it was. But if it was, we would have been here for you. And that's just what we enjoy doing. All right. So y'all have a good night. Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, let me put in one last plug for Debris Ballers podcast. If you guys are like the podcast game, or check us out on YouTube. So it's fun. It's a fun little project we're doing just to kind of educate and keep ourselves engaged. So check us out if you get the chance.
Yeah, and that's separate from Nashville severe weather stuff. That's something that Tom and I are doing with a couple of other very experienced meteorologists, retired meteorologists from the Weather Service, Alan Gerard and John Gordon. And I have learned an unbelievable amount listening to those guys. We've done 4 episodes now?
Yep.
And I've soaked up every minute of it, and so it's been fun. So yeah, that's a new podcast over there that Tom and I are a part of, and has been very interesting. So all right, hey, you guys have a good night. We'll keep it up over on socials, but for now we'll jump off alive. Hey, see you guys later. Tom, Graham, and Elin. We'll talk to you later. Will's over there, I think, too, somewhere. We'll talk to Will here in a minute. But y'all have a good night.
Bye.